In most Battlefield 3 matches, playing as the Recon class tends to look something like this. A crafty sniper lurking in some low-traffic corner of the map, picking off enemies one by one from afar. But with the new close quarters expansion, playing as the sniper in Battlefield 3 will suddenly go from looking like this to looking like this. So what's a poor Recon to do? Has Battlefield 3's long-range class been completely left out in the cold by these new close quarters maps? Well, not exactly. With a few adjustments to your strategy, Recon players can do just fine. First thing you've got to do is ditch that bolt-action sniper rifle with the 12x scope. That thing won't do you any favors here. But there is one rifle in the Recon kit that actually works really well on these maps, and that's the new M417. This gun's basically a more powerful, semi-automatic version of the M416, and it's a great choice in close quarters because of how flexible it is. Slap a 4x ACOG scope on there, and you can pick off enemies from mid-range, usually in about 2 or 3 shots. But it's also great in those moments when you turn a corner, see an enemy 5 feet in front of you, and need to fire off a few quick rounds from the hip. Because of its quick rate of fire, solid damage rating, and relatively low recoil, it works really well in those split-second, close-range encounters. Of course, if you want to fully embrace the close-quarters playstyle, you can always try out the new SPAS 12 shotgun. This one's not Recon-specific, but with so many bolt-action sniper rifles in your kit, you've got to take what you can get. The SPAS 12 is great in close quarters maps because when you've got it equipped with buckshot rounds, it's basically instant death for anyone within close range of you. Seriously, turn a corner, see an enemy, and let your twitch reflexes run wild. If nothing else, it's a great little palate cleanser after all those hours spent camping on the far end of the map. Now, with your Recon equipment, you're gonna need to get a little bit more creative. Whereas the Assault class has the benefit of running around reviving dozens of fallen teammates with their defib paddles, the Recon's usual bag of goodies are a lot less effective on close quarters. Without any vehicles, your SOFLAM is basically useless, and because most maps have an extremely low ceiling, your MAV drone won't be very effective either. But your ground sensor and your spawn beacons can actually come in pretty handy from time to time. As far as your ground sensor goes, most places on the map are so chaotic that it won't last 3 seconds before it's destroyed by a random grenade. But if you stash it in some out-of-the-way locations like, say, the toilets in Zeba Tower, you can usually rack up a bunch of spot assists before your next respawn. Another tactic is to place them near blind corners, looking at your minimap to see when enemies are about to run by and fill them with buckshot the very second they turn that corner. Now the spawn beacon. This one's a great way to counter the incredibly random spawning you get in the new Conquest Domination match type. If your team is clinging onto a capture point, you can find a nearby corner, drop your spawn beacon, and give your squad mates a quick entry point toward defending that station. Just make sure it's outside the line of fire, because with how dense these maps are, a poorly placed spawn beacon will get destroyed in no time. And enemies can hear them too, so you want to keep them a little bit out of the way. So there you have it, a few tips on Battlefield 3's long-range class to succeed on these new close-range maps. It's a far cry from the usual sniper tactics, but with some creativity, you can still find plenty of success as a Recon. Do you have any advice for fellow Recons playing on the close quarters maps? Feel free to offer your advice in the comments section below.